understand the documentation, what they are providing, and send it. Now, according to this company, they are sending a documentation. What was that? If you want to send a single SMS, they give some URL. And what they are doing? User, password, and they are giving mobile identification number, then they are asking the sender ID message. Now, FT equals 0. See, now we don't know what is the meaning of this. They told you are supposed to pass. First thing I understood is, what was the method? Is it get method or post method? It's a get method. Why? You are able to see the parameters is passing in the URL. I understood that it's a get method. Okay. Now what is asking you to pass? User. Okay. Now they are using it. Right. Now look at this one. So what they are saying was, if you want to send, they are giving some information, basic information. What is that? Scroll down. Error messages. They gave documentation. I was supposed to go through the documentation. Then we cannot spend so much time in going through the documentation. We'll make it quick. To understand, okay, chalo. Now let's go. User, your login username, password, your password, MS, I is okay. Is the what is it? Single mobile number or a multiple mobile number separated by comma to whom you want to send a file. SID, approved sender ID. Who was sending it? If said it's Capital Info Solution is sending it, Capital Info. Airtel is sending Airtel. Message, what is the message you want to send? Then if you are using a flash, then set 1 or else 0 flash messages. DWID is a transaction route. In the transaction route, they said here, if it is a proportion, no need. If it is a transactional message, you just transaction message. OTPs are okay. Transaction messages. So what else they give? Node. Okay. 100 mobile numbers are allowed for a single transaction. So these are the parameters and meaning of the parameters. Now out of this, what is asking you to send? Look at those things and send the SMS. Okay. Okay. They give URL and they told the parameters. They give the meaning of each and every parameter, what you are supposed to send. But the point is, it is not a good practice to give hard-coded values in the programming. So credentials should never be hard-coded. If you don't want the credential to be hard-coded, what you are supposed to do? Either you can go with the custom setting, you can go with the custom labels, or you can go with the custom object, or you can go with the custom metadata text. There are 4 other ways you can avoid hard-coded credentials. One is custom setting, second one is custom label, third one is custom object, fourth one is metadata tag, custom metadata. In any one of the format I can use it. Right now, I'll make it as custom setting. First example, I'll make it simple. We'll go with the custom setting. So we'll go with the custom setting or custom object. So we go with custom object. Let us go with the custom object then. First, custom object. So name, password. I create an object with the fields. I'm showing my data here. Right. Don't worry, I'll change the passwords. This will not work for you. There are some other gadget codes. Now, username passwords are there. Then, I want to send SMS. So, what I was supposed to do? Write a code, SMS. What type of authentication is this? They are asking you to pass username password in the URL. They give a username password. It's a custom API. It's a custom. Right. Public. So should I make it as a trigger? When a lead is created, trigger will fire. Trigger will send SMS to customer. Whenever a new lead is created, send a message to corresponding lead. Boss, we received. This is your registration number. So if you want to call a web service from the trigger, you are supposed to give at the rate of feature. It should be public, static. I'm supposed to give IDs. And I'm going to give list of lead where ID in. Then you're supposed to take the credential data. Where is my credential data? My credential data is in. What is the object name we give? SMS data, name, and password. You're supposed to take the credentials here. SMS data. There's only one data, so instead I'm giving this. There's only one data, instead I'm giving this. Now you're supposed to send SMS. So what I will start doing, read L. One by one lead I have to take and send. First, they told you can send a bulk SMS, you can send a single SMS. Right, what I'm doing is single SMS from my end. But you can also try with bulk SMS. String URL. What is the URL they have given? So this complete operation is going as per the documentation given. Purely based on the documentation, understanding the documentation giving. Purely based on documentation. Purely based on documentation. I'm not doing anything else. I have just following the documentation what they given. SMS URL equal to URL plus user. Who is the user we have? Plus SMS dot. Because I'm taking the data directly from database. So this is the URL. URL equal to URL plus user. Username plus password equal to SMS. Plus URL equal to URL plus mobile ID. So what is the mobile number you're getting? Whoever is the lead, new lead dot phone. What is the phone number of lead is that we are giving? Who is the sender? The sender is should not be more than 6 characters. So I'm giving here some cap integration and message what you want to send. Right, box. What did I do? They gave a URL. Whatever the URL they have given, as per their URL, I'm working on it. So what is the URL? Username they asked me to pass. I pass my username that from database. They asked me to pass a password, SMS dot password underscore underscore C. Then to which mobile number you want to send? Whatever the new lead I have created, the lead your phone number I have taken. Then who is sending? Capital integration. Then what is the message you are giving? This is the message. Flash. You are trying to send a flash. I told you, boss, if you are sending a flash, it is 1. You are not sending a flash, it is 0. They given here. What is that? You are sending a flash, 1, not sending a flash, 0. Right now it is not having any flash message, so I give 0. So what was this? It's a URL. It's a URL. It's a URL. What they give? As for the URL, I am embedding my data. The URL they ask you to send a name, password, mobile number, and the message what you want to send. The message what you want to send. Then the message also I want to give some message here. So suppose you give plus sign, then if you are giving any blank space, remove plus. Okay, now you know the URL. Now how do you make a web service call? Now tell me. If you want to make a web service call, HTTP. Equals dot set. Equals dot set endpoint. What is the endpoint we have? This is a URL we are using. Equals dot set method. What type of method is this? URL, and this is a get method. When you are supposed to send HTTP response. Equal to p dot send. Then we are going to get a response. So string body, get the body of the response. Similarly, new lead dot description equal to body plus I'm just putting this to understand myself, like whether things are settled properly or not. So I'm giving update. What was my requirement was new lead dot body equal to okay. Update leads. It's not be a new lead, it's be leads. This is how I made it. Boss, here we have an issue. What is that issue? Already we have an insert trigger there. Already yesterday we had one insert trigger. This is another insert trigger. Now I am writing two different formats. It is suggestible. Now write more than one trigger on the same object with the same event. Try to join them. Yesterday we had a requirement of sending a request and getting the pin code. Today my client told even if you are supposed to send even you are supposed to send a SMS. Yesterday they told me get the pin code number. Today they told even you are supposed to send a SMS. Now I have an issue. What is it? Both of them has to be run after inserting the lead. Already there is a trigger on the lead after insert. They ask me to perform one more operation. So it's not a good practice to write more than one trigger on the same object. Then what you are supposed to do? Write Apex class with different methods. Invoke them within the single trigger. Okay. Always, what is the good practice that you have to follow? Always. What is the good practice you are supposed to follow? What was this? It's after insert. And what I'm doing here? What is the code I told? Repeat. Let's example dot. What is the method? Send SMS. Here also I am supposed to send. But the problem is that if I remembered well, yesterday I told Description is already filled with some other data, I guess, right? Actually, we already gave. If you remember well, yesterday I already gave some code on the description. So I'll check out the code. HTTP field code, right? Go back to this. Okay. Then go back. Do this example. Read. Yeah. Otherwise you get error. Okay, let us finish. Remote site settings. Right. So go back to the lead. So give somebody's number, boss. I'll send SMS. Unmarried people can give their numbers. Some data I'm giving. Right. Somebody can give your number. 89 855 20 517. Now first let me cross check in the documentation. They asked me to add 91 after the number, right? They asked me to send 91. We didn't follow that instruction. What was that? Phone number 91 followed by number. Back to this. First let me go back and see whether action is success or failure. Epic jobs. Operation is completed. Both operations went. 513, 513, both are completed. Okay. Go back. Error code 13. Invalid mobile number. Right. Status okay. Now request was sent. Invalid mobile number. Job ID. Okay. So probably expression format. Let us try it out with the expression format also. I guess they asked me to add 91, right? Mobile number 91 followed by. Let me check out here what they asked me to give. Mobile number or multiple numbers spread by tangent or plus 91. Okay. No. 10 digits are plus 91 there. I'll recreate one more time. So right. So I told update also after. Okay. Back to the record. Again I'll give it 8. It's okay. Update is anything, right? 8 552 0. Okay. To avoid one issue, I'll also create one custom field. I'm expecting one particular issue there. Expecting a particular problem. What was that? Phone underscore underscore C. Okay, go back to the record. Eight nine eight 52 5. Modify the record. Nine one. We'll try to. The status is coming as 200. Request has gone there, but mobile number was not valid here from our end. So somebody, okay, we'll try with the plus 91 also, or so let us see that the request is happening. You are able to see there is a request happening. Request is coming from there. So it is already giving a status code. It's already giving a status code success. So from our end, request has gone there, but while trying to send the message, it's failing because of the number. Maybe the service vendor. Check out whether you have received. Let me check the stuff. Received? Not received or received? Let us check the status whether it's pending or cannot insert update activity entity failed. What was that? First exception. Okay. Now what is that? What is the error there? Now what is that? Recursive trigger. What is the error there? Recursive trigger. Why recursive trigger? I told update trigger. Within update trigger again I wrote. Update trigger I wrote again update. So it is causing what? I thought of updating trigger here. I hope you got my point there. What was the bug? The bug was here now. Update trigger. Within the update trigger, I am trying to update the same record. So I thought of instead of updating one more record, I thought of adding the same record. Let us see your phone number only was, why it is not sending. One more time, I'll create what's your name. See the record. The record, what is that? Sender ID, invalid sender ID. It's null. Okay. So something wrong with the format. But you can see the request has already gone. So the issue was coming from this is the response code which is coming. So my request has already gone there and it was trying to send a SMS and it has told invalid sender ID. So why use that invalid sender ID? Now who is the registered ID for his credit balance? Is any so with some format of IDs we are getting there. So we'll try to take one more documentation here. What was the idea they gave after? Message sender ID. What is the sender ID they gave in here? Web SMS. Let it keep web SMS. So let us take this time. What is that sender ID? Let me run it one more time. What is your mobile number? It's the reason you're not getting internet calls, boss. No. You got different error code. What is that? Mobile number, message bots, message ID, part 1, text 1, demo schedule. Now check out. Received. Now we are getting the status equal to success here. What was that error code 000? Now what is that error code 000? Let us see. They give some error code, right? 0. What is that? Success. It means message is submitted successfully to the registered number. So from their end they have sent the message. So once it is, let me know. So we are getting the code here. What is the code they are giving? 000. What is that? Success. It means the message is sent submitted successfully. So what is the code we got here? The code is 00 success. Java ID. Register number is the same number. 8985 89855 20517. Right? Message box. Message ID. Okay. Right, boss? This is how the message was sent. Contact this guy to get whether you got received. So from our end, the message was sent and status was given as 0. What was that? So they have given. So let me check the dashboard whether they have shown me that one message is sent from my end. It showed me that one message is sent from my end. So whatever the data we are sending to the, now what is this? The message demo schedule today. The data came to this. So from our Salesforce, I have given the data. That data came to this. Right? So from our end, the data went to the third party. Third party is supposed to send the message. Right. Now here, what was the message that what type of authentication they are giving? Custom authentication. Now it's not a fixed format like I key, API key. It's not a fixed format like authentication. So they have given their own parameters. If you want to use my system, you are supposed to give username, password, then they get told SID, they give their own format. So you are supposed to follow their format and set that request. So authentication is defined by their own. The authentication system, they have defined their own format, asking you to follow that format and send it. Yesterday I told you, what is that? Open, okay, API, customize, then authentication. So what is that? What this example belongs to what? Customized. Customize. I hope you are clear. Right, boss? Received. Right. Now, look at the format. I hope you followed this example. So this is what? For sending a SMS to third party. So the third party vendor will be there. So find out some third party vendor. Communicate. I have registered this third party vendor. So this guy is giving some free message. Cloud.smsindia.hub. You can take that URL. Cloud.smsindiahub.in. You can use that guy. You can try with him. You can try with this guy. You can try with this guy. Cloud.smsindiahub.in. You can register and try your own example with this. So let me go back and change my password. Right. So I hope you're clear with this format. You can try this example. You can try out this example. They are giving some free services of SMS of 2000 they are giving. You can register this account and try this SMS. Now tell me some use cases what we can do on this. Right? Tell me some use cases. Now you can schedule you can go to the schedule effects where every day all the new leads which are created, categorize them as per the okay product interested in. You are interested on which product. When you are making inquiry, you are showing interest on this particular product. So identify the product in which he is interested. As per the product, have the corresponding data sending. So leads are categorized. Okay, based on the leads are group categorized. Let's say corporate lead or personal lead. So if it is a personal lead, send SMS to the personal lead. Or else, whenever a new product is created, okay, find out the family of the product and all the leads who are showing interest on this type of product family, collect those data, send SMS to them. Right? So whenever the status of the opportunity is closed, send a SMS to the gate. Whenever you have done insurance application, the insurance application, you submitted the data for policy. Once your insurance policy is submitted, application is submitted, then what we told? We had a third party system called Apollo. Your data is submitted to Apollo system. Underwriting process is happening in the Apollo system. Then once the policy is issued, the policy data is coming to Salesforce. Right? The insurance application what we have seen, the policy data, whatever the application you are submitting, the data is going to third party system called Apollo. Their underwriting process is happening. Then they are going to give, once the policy is approved, then the data is coming to the Salesforce. That means once the data is uploaded to Salesforce, once the data of policy number is uploaded to Salesforce or customer ID is uploaded to Salesforce, send SMS to customer. Boss, your policy is approved. This is the policy number. Boss, your premium amount is pending. This is the premium amount. Boss, on the 5th of the month, we are going to debit the so money from your account. So keep your balance in the account. Like that, you are getting some alerts, SMS are, so alert SMS are transaction information. Are you getting my point? Are you clear? You are clear? Okay. Right. So let us do one more example. This example we will try with API. People have followed this example. Right. So what we followed? Just we have seen the documentation of that organization. What is the documentation they are giving? I followed the documentation, went to the URL, copied the corresponding parameters, and we have used it. Okay. Next. Let us go to the next one. I will go with I also integrated with one third party system. What is this? Local weather API. I want to get the documentation of API. Weather report. Weather report I want to get it. When you want to get the weather report, I went to this some third party company and they are doing some documentation here. What is the documentation they are giving? What is the URL which they are using? And they are also saying what? Q equal to location, extra number of days, how many days report you want, on which date you want, date format, FX, CS, MCA, all these are what? Parameters what they are expecting you to pass. All these are what? Parameters. What they are saying? If you send a request to me, I am going to give you weather report. If you send a request to me, I am going to give a weather report. But if you want to send a request to me, they are saying, boss, you are supposed to pass all this data. In this data, any security parameters? Now look at it. What is this? What they are asking to pass? Key. Now they don't have username, password, this type of security. They told they are going to give a key. If you reproduce the key, I am going to give a response. Now, how to send a request? I have to go through the documentation. They gave a document. I just gone through the documentation and I found that this is the URL what they are using. This is the URL what they are using. And they told Q is nothing but the name of the city which you want to find out the weather report. And how it is weather report you want. You want a particular date weather report. Date should be sent in which format. Like that they give a lot of parameters. By looking at this documentation, I was supposed to create weather report. I was supposed to get the weather report. Now, I already registered this company. Then I got my key. What is this? It is an API key. They already gave me API key. Right? They don't need to send keys. If you want a weather report, they ask me to pass what? Key. They ask me to pass key. What is the key? API key. Now what was this? They give me one sample API key. So I am going to use this key make a request to them, get my weather report. I am going to make use of this key, send a request to them and get my weather report. Are you getting my point? Now, I told you, web service is purely based on the documentation. If you want to connect to me, you have to follow my rules. If I have to connect to you, I have to follow your rules. You have a certain rules and format. I was supposed to follow the rules and click. If you want to log into Salesforce, what is the format you are using? Login.salesforce.com. If you want to log into Sandbox, s.salesforce.com. Why? Why? You want to communicate with those people, you have to obey the rules. They told this is the URL what you are supposed to use, this is the password what you are supposed to enter, this is the username, password, security token. Why should I give security token? I have username, password. They told, boss, if IP address is not enabled, restriction is not enabled, you are supposed to pass security token. If I want to connect, I have to give username, password and security token. Boss, if IP address is security is disabled, then what is that? You can give username, password. Why? Their norms. If I am trying to communicate with a third party system, I was supposed to obey their norms and integrate. Now, if I want to communicate with the system, they give certain rules. I was supposed to follow the rules and integrate. Am I right? Right. Okay. If I want to use this system and integrate, what was this system? World Weather Report Online. World Weather Report Online. This is a system to which I want to communicate. They give me some URL. Now they give me some URL. So, what is the format of method was? They told the method is get. They told the URL method is get. You are supposed to pass the following parameters. Right. So, let us see this. How to create this weather report was? HTTP API key. Example is based on API key. Public string city. Then I told it's not a good practice to go with. It's not a good practice to go with hard coding the values. So I cannot keep a code in the hard coded values because if I keep in a code, everybody can open and see the code. I don't want to keep it. So I have public string. I'm assuming it's a JSON. Let us see the output and find out. Public void. Now you're supposed to give first. I want to store everything in a custom setting. How do you store everything in custom setting? Setup, build, develop, custom settings, new custom setting. List custom setting. I'm taking key. I'm getting a custom setting. Then I want to say name. Whether what is the key we have? In the custom setting, I added so that I can pull this data anywhere in any page. I can pull this data in anywhere in any page. So go back. So how do you read the data from custom setting? How do you read the data? Map of in comma. What the object I created was? Map equal to. Then particular I'm just trying to use all methods. So I give get off equal to my map dot get off. What is the value I give? K capital or small? K capital. You got the key. Okay. Now tell me what is the URL? String. So what is the URL we are supposed to use? Go to the documentation. They give a URL. Copy the URL. I'm just following the documentation box, nothing else. Then URL equal to URL plus what is the parameter they are asking to pass? Few. It is a required parameter. You are supposed to enter. Few. Then we are supposed to give location. What is our location? Few equal to URL equal to URL plus ampersand. You want to pass more than one parameter? You are supposed to give ampersand. Then what is the next parameter they ask you to give? Optional things I will remove it. Only required things I will take. Number of days. How many days report you want? Number of days equal to let's say 5 days. Then what is the other parameter they are asking? Optional. EBT. Only the rest of the things are optional. Ampersand equal to what do you get the value from capsule 30? Just dot get off. So what you are supposed to do? What is the field name I give? Let me cross check. I don't want to. Custom setting value key underscore C. This is how it. So I found the URL. What is the URL? Was URL question mark q equal to city plus number of days equal to 2 and key equal to source. Then we are supposed to create request. How do you create request? HTTP request equal to new request dot set endpoint request dot set method. What is the method we have? Get. Then we are giving HTTP response equal to e dot send. Then we have JSON result equal to response dot. This is how we do. Now, what was that HTTP? Line number, what was that request? What was the bug? Say it only bugs. What was that? Please already use somewhere else. So, the all is about the URL and API key. I am using a key. Here the authentication format is key. Then let us make a VF page. I'll make it straight away. Example. You can modify the UI as per your requirement. command model. You got here, get it. Then we are giving here, we are, are you sure what type of data we are getting? Are you sure what type of data we are getting? If you go through the documentation carefully, you'll understand. You have to spend the time to understand the documentation. As you are not reading the documentation much. What was that ID I gave over here under? Then what is the first thing that I have to do? Whatever the URL I am using, I was supposed to JSON string what is the first thing that I was supposed to do? You are supposed to register this URL with the remote site. The third party system, security controllers, remote site settings. Go back here. Because here I am directly writing in the Apex class. I will put some system.debugs to find out the reasons of success or failure. Go back to the page. Now, what is this? Available to our preview. Please contact support team. Unable to find any incident. Right, boss. So what is the data we are getting here? We are getting the response in the form of, because I told last 4 days we are getting a lot of data. Now response is coming in the form of XML. Now you need to understand the format of XML and DC legend. You need to understand the format of XML and DC legend. The template you are getting, find out the template format and get the structure of the data. Right? So what was this format called? What was this API based authentication? They are giving a key. The key I am trying to reproduce it where you are getting the value. If you want to request any data, I am going to give a key, reproduce the key, then I am going to authenticate you and provide the response. I hope I am clear with this. Right, boss? Any further queries on that? Any further queries on this? So this is called API based key. API based authentication.